And whenever you're at any point, feel free to jump in and ask any questions. So this is all about creating your professional LinkedIn profile. This is a webinar that is sponsored by Western Piedmont Community College Small Business Center in partnership with Burriss Consulting, which is me. So I'm Teddy. I'm a LinkedIn and Sales Navigator strategist, trainer, and coach. I've been practicing using LinkedIn as a business tool since way back in 2007. I've been teaching LinkedIn as a business tool since 2009. My job is to practice and experiment with LinkedIn so I can discover the best ways to use LinkedIn as a business tool. By the way, you can find me all over the internet. So what are we going to discuss in this course? Who should have a professional LinkedIn profile? That's number one. We're going to also discuss and show you how to navigate your LinkedIn profile. After a few slides, we'll drop into LinkedIn and I'll answer all kinds of questions for you. And I'll actually, if you want, drop your LinkedIn profile URL in chat, and I'll be happy to bring, when it's time to talk about it, bring your LinkedIn profile up and talk about it. We're going to talk, Isabel, question?
No, I will copy my LinkedIn profile on the chat.
Okay.
And I would love to review it later.
All good. We're going to talk about the importance of being clear about your target audience. Who are you building your LinkedIn profile for? We're also going to talk about the importance of using the right words and phrases. So marketing calls this your keywords and SEO phrases. I call it phrases and words that resonate with your target audience. We're talking about the best practices of building your LinkedIn profile, all the different areas you should consider using when you build your profile, and then how to manage your LinkedIn profile. And I have a Google form, but we're not going to use that for the sake of today's conversation. This class is for all kinds of people. I'm not going to use the word everyone because that's not appropriate. Target audience, ideal client, et cetera, et cetera. This class is for business development people, sales professionals, account executives, college grads, business owners, entrepreneurs, and anyone who wants to be found by the people on LinkedIn. If you build a LinkedIn profile and you build it right, using the words that resonate with your target audience, you create an opportunity to be found and perceived as an authority in the space you want to be known as through your LinkedIn profile. So, Hope, welcome. Good to have you on here. We're just getting started. So first of all, what is LinkedIn? It is the number one professional networking site on the internet, on the earth. Don't know about other planets. The number one professional networking site. And by the way, I can update this and tell you as of yesterday, it was about 903 million people. I updated this about a week ago. I need to update again. 903 million people. And right now, because of some chaos that's going on, the number's up into 4, 5, or 6 members per second. Absolutely growing fast. I will share with you in total transparency that I believe that about 3 to 5% of LinkedIn members are fake. Anywhere between 250 and 400 million people on LinkedIn are fakes. That's 400 or 40. Let me get it right. 40. Anywhere between 25 million and 40 million are fakes. Somewhere between the 2 and 5%. And I think if I did my math right, it's 25 to 40. 62, 63 million companies on LinkedIn as of a couple days ago. And serious LinkedIn users are getting more and more active in engaging and sharing content and being willing to get into conversations on LinkedIn. What is LinkedIn? It's an important business tool, predominantly in the B2B space, but also in the business and consumer space as well, because many consumers are also business professionals on LinkedIn. What is a professional LinkedIn profile? This is a profile that you've spent time building that clearly speaks to a target group of people, your target group of people, using words, again, that resonates with them. A professional LinkedIn profile is one that's written paying attention to grammar and spelling. A professional LinkedIn profile is one that's managed to make sure it is aligned with your career goals or your business goals and continuously updated to be relevant to your target audience. A professional LinkedIn profile is one that you are proud of, that shows up in both a Google search and LinkedIn searches, based on the words and phrases that are important to your target audience. I can speak to that in a very deliberate way as I transition my profile to show up better in Google searches. And a professional LinkedIn profile is also one that you use all of the available areas of LinkedIn, again, to speak to your target audience, and show them that who you are, what you're capable of doing, and relevant to them. Hope, I offered Isabel, feel free to jump in and ask any questions during this conversation. I got a few slides to go through, and then we'll drop into LinkedIn. If you want me to look at your LinkedIn profile when we go live on LinkedIn, give me your LinkedIn profile URL in chat. Who should have a profile? Again, anyone who wants to be discovered by, again, over 900 million people today. Business professionals who want to network. And network means get into conversations. Business owners and executives who want to have their presence discovered and be perceived as an influencer or a subject matter expert in their industry. Business developers want to find their target audience, find their influencers so you can get in a conversation. And those conversations can potentially lead to business conversations. Business professionals in career transition, again, who want to be found. It's all about being found by the right people and looking for ways to connect with the right people and get into conversations with the right people focused on your goals. Your target audience. This is the very first thing. You got to be clear who you're building your LinkedIn profile. You got to know who is the human that you want to engage with, that you want to look at your LinkedIn profile. Typically in a business-to-business space, Hope, Isabel, comment with B2B or B2C and let me know if you're in business-to-business or business-to-consumer so I can morph this conversation to fit you as well. In a B2B space, you need to define your target audience this way. What is that person's role? What company types do they work for or are they in? Maybe what industry are they in? Maybe what geography and region that they are in. When you are clear about the role, the type of company, the type of the industry and or the geography, then you have a better understanding of who you're building your LinkedIn profile for. And in the business to consumer space, you may add what are their interests, what is their age, sex, other personal demographics, so that you can, again, be speaking and using words that resonate with them. Maybe what's their lifestyle, again, B2C, what geography or region are they in. And if you're not clear about how to figure out target audience, I really recommend you find some help, maybe through the Small Business Center, through some of their mentoring, maybe through SCORE or some other group, so you get really focused on making sure your profile speaks to the right people. Now, you know who you're talking to. What are the words you need to use to talk to them appropriately? What are the words and phrases that your target audience uses when they're looking for you? What are the words and phrases that are important to them? Don't rely on words and phrases that you hope they're using. Do your research so you know what words they are using. Do research. Use tools like Google Trends. Use tools like, do Google searches, and maybe ask your target audience what are the words and phrases they use. Google Trends is a really useful tool to figure this out. I learned a long time ago, I thought my key phrase was a LinkedIn trainer. And that is a big important word for me and for my target audience. But I discovered through Google Trends that LinkedIn training is much more powerful than LinkedIn trainer. It's a much more actively used keyword or phrase. Build your keywords and phrases. Prioritize them very deliberately. Become familiar with all the words they're using, and then begin using them throughout everything you do on LinkedIn, including your profile, including your messaging, your emails if you're using emails, etc., and on your website, your blog posts, etc. I ask new leads. When someone reaches out to me, I ask them, how did you find me? If they say they did a Google search or a Bing search, I say, great, what were the words that you used? Because I want to understand what words they're using and consider if those are words that I should be using. So really be clear not only about your target audience, but about the words and phrases you should be using. Your LinkedIn profile style should be written in your language, not someone else's language. Don't hire somebody to write your LinkedIn profile. You may hire someone to help you do that, but you want to use your words, your phrases, your style of writing, your tone, your level of formality. Maybe you're, an easygoing person. Maybe you're, a business, a corporate structured person. But you want to write it with your personality into it. And if your target audience appreciates humor, then don't ignore that. Maybe include a little bit, throughout, wherever's appropriate. Don't be a fake. Absolutely don't pretend. You need to show them who you are. There's an old dead guy who wrote this phrase, you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Let them see who you are. Hopefully, who you are is a good person. Assumably. I have no reason to doubt that. So here's a few best practices before we go into LinkedIn I want to share with you. 10 best practices that can really help create value for you. Everyone needs a profile picture. You can't have a LinkedIn profile without a profile picture. Yes, the system will let you, but if no profile picture, it says you're unapproachable. And the moment someone perceives you as unapproachable, they're moving on to the next profile. You need to have your headline. That's the 220 characters directly below your profile picture. That tells your target audience what you do for them. It's not your HR assigned title. No one cares about that. You want to make sure your contact information is up to date, accurate. Click on it. Make sure it works. Dial the phone number. Click on the email address. Click on the website and make sure it works. Because the worst thing you could have is a LinkedIn profile that creates great interest and intrigue, and they can't get a hold of you. You want to tell stories. I talked to a lady earlier today, and she says she is a story coach. I'm like, oh my God, that is so powerful to coach people to tell stories throughout your LinkedIn profile, in your about section, in your LinkedIn post, in your experience section, et cetera, et cetera. When you can tell relevant stories, that is much more intriguing than a bullet point list of keywords and phrases. Use the featured section, I'll show this to you in a minute, to showcase content that amplifies your brand, that gives the viewer more insights in what you do, can do, enjoy doing for them. Let your experience section show growth to who you have become, who you are today, relevant to your target audience. And make sure your skills section is relevant and meaningful skills, again, that amplify your brand. If you're a project manager, if you're a business consultant, if you're a business executive, you shouldn't have a Word and Excel and PowerPoint as your key skills. That's like using a number 2 pencil. You should be way beyond that by now. All of the content on your LinkedIn profile needs to be relevant and or showing professional growth. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. And don't put irrelevant content on there that, I use the phrase, sends your target audience down a rabbit hole. You want them to stay focused on who you are, not what you did in the past. Not that other company you work for, but stay focused on who you are so they can determine if you are highly relevant to them and or do they need to have a conversation with you. Spelling and grammar is critical. If you want to see some huge, ugly mistakes, go to LinkedIn and do a search for one of two words, one or two titles. Manger, M-A-N-G-E-R, or pubic relations professional. Both of those will blow you away. And by the way, here's a bonus point. Your LinkedIn profile is not a static document. It is not a static brochure. It's a document that you need to update regularly so that it continues to showcase who you are and as you grow. And it needs to continue to not only influence the human that looks at your profile, but also the search engines or the bots. Here's the primary sections of a LinkedIn profile. The top card. We'll look at that in a minute. Your contact information. If you are a creator and you like creating content, then your featured section. The about section, which by the way is 2,600 characters. That's dang near a book. Your experience section, your education section. Go back as far as it's relevant in both of those. And by the way, we don't need to see your high school, your elementary school, or your preschool. Higher ed only is all we really need to see for most people. Licenses, certifications. This is showing that you're growing. Volunteering. This shows that you care about your community. Skills. You have 50 skill words or skill phrases. Recommendations. That's called social proof. That's a powerful way to present your brand, is to show where others say you are really good at what you do. Publications. If you have content online that's about you and about what you do, what you can do, what you have done, relevant to what you do today, it's a great area to share content in. Courses, again, it shows you continue to grow. Organizations show that you are involved in your industry, helping others. And there are other sections on here as well that may be relevant to use. But these top 13 are the big ones. All right, that's it. Now we go into LinkedIn. And we go into LinkedIn and we can talk about LinkedIn profiles. And really what I really want to do for you is I want to answer your questions. I don't want to just lecture. So let me bring your profiles up. Here's Isabel. I thought that was you. Red Hat and Raleigh. And here is... I don't, oh, here we go. Hope. Yep, I got it now. Nope, that's not going to be it. Hope, cooperative economics. What is cooperative? Is that your LinkedIn profile URL or your company page? But what on LinkedIn? Is it your company page or your personal profile? Nope, personal profile. Nope, your personal profile is this. Now, that one might have been your company page. Let me go do that again. That's mine. Let me go. Is Cooperative Economics the name of the company you work for, Hope?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
All good. Oh, you don't have a company page.
Okay.
Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Let's see. We go back.
It may be just now. This is why I'm in this class. That's it.
Yeah, but so you don't have a company page.
So do I need to make it like that right there?
This is your personal. This needs to be your personal profile. That's what this needs to be. Needs to be all about Hope. Okay.
Okay. So if I want to make that a business profile,
you can.
what do I do?
You can. And you absolutely should not make it. This is your personal profile. It should only be about Hope. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. However, what you could do, Hope, if you wanted to, is you could make a company page which is a whole nother presence on LinkedIn. Okay.
Okay.
So
tell me what I need to do.
well, let's start. Let's make this all about your personal profile. We can talk about company pages at another day. Okay.
Well, I don't really want to get personal.
You have to, Hope.
Really?
You absolutely have to. Let me explain why. So you work for Cooperative Economics?
Yes.
Okay. So are you customer facing?
Yes.
Then you need to be personal. And let me define personal. When people look at my LinkedIn profile, it's not about me telling them, about, my 12 grandkids and my wife of 43 years and the beer I drink, the cigars I smoke. It's about them looking at Teddy Burriss and going, this guy knows what he's doing. I'm hoping they perceive that. This guy is trusted and respected by a fair number of people.
Yeah.
This guy talks about stuff that's relevant to what I'm looking for.
Okay.
That's the level of personal that I'm trying to get you to think about.
I got you.
It's about hope. It ain't about B2B economics. It ain't about cooperative economics. It's about hope. Now, yeah, you should, and this needs to be a picture of hope. And I'm looking at you on screen, and you got a nice smile, girl.
Oh, really?
And this, by the way, a violation of LinkedIn's terms and services.
Really?
I've had to read it 1,000 times. This needs to be a picture of hope. And you heard what I said earlier. Without a picture of hope, I think you're trying to get me to talk to a business, and I want to talk to hope.
I got you. That's why I'm on here today.
Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go bounce back and forth between you and Isabel, but this is all about hope. And you don't, and you're missing what's called an about section. There's a section called about. I'm going to jump over to Isabel in a minute, but your about section is where you tell them what you do, what you can do, what you enjoy doing. Let me go play with Isabel for a minute. So,
okay.
Isabel's got her profile picture. She's got a smile on there. Looks like she's hanging out. That's not Carrie. I'm joking. I know that's.
No, it's I'm originally from Barcelona, Spain.
I kind of thought so. So you're a system designer. By the way, how did you get on this, Isabel? This webinar. How did you find it?
On the Small Business Center?
Yeah. So do you know Lily? Do you know the Small Business Center?
No, I don't know her. I just found her on the website because I would like to move to do B2B services, to be a consultant, and do a freelancing, and I'm joining a lot of webinars on this.
Okay, all good. And Hope, you're not around here either. How did you find this?
I found this class.
Yes.
It was on the community college website.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. So I got it. So you're following the another community college. I got you. So
right.
All right.
It's North Carolina. All the community colleges from North Carolina State. And this is where I got this class from. Okay, all good. So through NC State. Okay. So Isabel, you're third level to me, so you're hiding your last name. You may be, thank you, Isabel. You may be hiding your last name, or you may not have put it there. But put your last name. Don't hide. You want people to trust you, and when you hide, you're telling them you're not as trustworthy, or you don't trust them. So go ahead and put your full name on there. And you do that through settings, privacy and settings. And so are you still working for Red Hat?
Yeah, but my contract is about to finish, so yeah.
Okay, all good. I'm a career coach too, by the way. So, and I can't see your contact information yet. Great. You've got a portfolio out there. Is Dribble also a portfolio?
Yeah, kind of, but actually this link on the portfolio is old, so let me just update
Yeah,
it.
so just take a note. You want to make sure when I go look at that, you want to make sure I'm seeing what you want me to see. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to
And
change
and the same thing if you put a resume out there, make sure the resume is what you want me to see. So I like this format of resume. So pretty cool. Couple more things. So you have an about section here, Isabel, and you are vetting yourself, and you should never vet yourself. Let me tell you what I would recommend you do. Don't tell me you have 14 years experience. Tell me that you using optimized and efficient interfaces, you create solutions. Don't tell me you have a broad understanding of open web. Tell me how you've helped clients with open web technologies. Don't tell me you use methodologies as Scrum, using agile methodologies as Scrum. I don't know. That might not be written right. Tell me you know how to use Scrum to create value. You're vetting yourself. Stop vetting yourself. You don't need to do that. Tell me what you can do.
Okay, what does it mean by vetting yourself? Sorry.
That's okay. I apologize. Vetting means you're telling me that you're good. You're telling me I have notable aesthetic skills. That's vetting. You're telling me I've happily worked remotely for 7 years. Tell me that you, instead of telling me that you have 14 years experience, instead of telling me you have a broad understanding of something, don't tell me you use agile methodologies. Tell me how you do this. Okay? Don't tell me you follow user-centered design guidelines. Tell me how you've done that. Don't tell me you use design thinking. Tell me how you've done it. And it's called storytelling, Isabel. Tell me a story about how you've solved a problem or created value using design thinking. Tell me how you helped a client overcome a problem and help them create a user-centered system that created value for them. You see what I'm saying? These are vetting. All of this is vetting statements, and you haven't told me how you created value. That's what people want. They want to hear a story, and you can say, you don't even have to tell me you've worked for 7 years remotely. I don't need to know that. I only need to know you know how to do things. You know how to do the work that you want to do. That's what people are looking for. And you got to use keywords. You got to use keywords and phrases. If you want to be do you want to stay in the systems design world, or do you want to do something else?
Well, system designer can be more technical, describe my role, but I'm basically a UX, UI designer, and I also code. Look
here. Look at this problem here. You just said you're UX, UI designer. Is that what you just said? And you did not use the phrase UX or UI anywhere in this text.
Yeah.
You did not, and this is the number one most important field on LinkedIn. The number one most important field. And you do not have UX, UI designer in there. And this is critical. Because if I do a search for UX or UI designer in Raleigh, North Carolina, you're not going to show up in that search.
I see.
And hope this applies to you as well in the space of what you want to do. You do not have UX UI designer in here. You got product designer. Does that include UX UI work?
Yes, it does. Include also the business part of it, but it has also the user interface work.
So talk about the business side of it. Talk about the user side of it. Nowhere in here are you telling me enough about what you did or what you can do and what you want to do. Here you have it. It's all the way down here. Mm-hmm. So this is critical. Let's go back to Hope. Hope, what is the work you want to do? You have to unmute. Hope, are you there? I'll keep going then. So, but you.
I am here. I had a customer.
Oh,
one moment, please.
All good. What's the work you want to do?
I just want. Okay, I want some information on what all I need to put on there to promote the business professionally. Like you said, going to make that a personal profile, and that's fine.
What is the business?
Marketing strategist.
I can't. Are you telling me that you're not telling me, this is what I discovered. This is not on LinkedIn. They're a marketing specialist?
Oh, I'll tell you about it in 1 second.
Company Cooperative Economics. And I can't find them on LinkedIn. That blows me away. Maybe it's just because I can't find them, but
it's not on LinkedIn. I'm working on that now.
Oh, is it your business?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I thought you were working for somebody else. My bad. Okay. So
it's okay.
So, but what you're going to want to do, Hope, is you're going to want to build out your LinkedIn profile, telling people what you do and how you create value for them. With the headline, and you don't have an about section, you need an about section that talks about what you do, can do, enjoy doing, relevant to your target audience. And then, in your experience section, you don't have an experience section. So in your experience section, you need to also talk about who do you work for and what do you do for. It's all about what do you do for your ideal client. That's what you need to do. And you need to tell stories. I'm recording this video. I'll put it out there. So if you didn't hear it, Hope. So, and then you need to keep going beyond experience. And by the way, Isabel, I wouldn't use the HR assigned title on my job. I would use a title that tells my most important viewer, ideal client, target audience, what I do for them. UX, UI designer is what I would probably put there if that's my primary job. Too often people use the HR assigned titles, and that's wrong. And the only thing I would talk about in prior positions is what did I do in a prior position that is either relevant or shows professional growth to what I want you to know about me today. You got to absolutely only talk about how you grew. Or what you did that's relevant. Isabel, question?
So instead to say what I did in experience, you advising me to move to a storytelling also on my particular experience in each company?
Yeah, guess what? Two sentence stories. No more than a 3-sentence story. And instead of telling me full development from scratch for responsive customer websites, then you could say a project that I did, or you could lead with the customer. A customer needed to revise their website to a fully responsive, which by the way might be an old word, it might be a newer word to use, but a customer needed a responsive website to reach their clients on mobile devices, and I help them design it and build it to meet their goals. Instead of saying managing vendor product endpoints, revamp development, tell me a project in 2 or 3, in no more than 3 sentences. experience and knowledge developing high optimized payment forms. You could say, I really enjoyed developing my skills around creating payment forms that were fully optimized and developed to work across multiple platforms or devices. You see where I'm going?
Yeah, I understand the part of moving this more to a storytelling, but the thing is, like, I have a technical profile. So many of the job offers mention these things. So normally the job offers of the vacancies for where I applied, it has a very long list of requirements and technical requirements. So that's why I add all these elements too, because for them to see they there,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Isabel, but you need to write this for much more than just a single job opportunity. You need to write this so that when people are willing to read it, and when people see short little stories, they're more likely to read it than read bullet points. You're writing this content for two people. The person who's highly relevant to you, which might be a hiring manager, might be a recruiter, might be a business owner, but you're also writing it for the search engines. So writing stories appeals to the human. Using the keywords in the stories appeals to not only the human, but also the search engine. And by the way, you could, if you look at how I did mine, where's mine? If you, where's mine? Come on, where's mine? I lost mine. Let me open it up here. If you look at how I did some of my content, so like even in my about section, I told stories up top. I'm not good at it, but I told stories. I wrote it in lots of different ways, but down at the bottom, I stacked up the skill words. So you can do that at the bottom so that the search engines are more likely to find you, and the hiring managers might see that one phrase that resonates with them. But again, think stories more so than just simply bullet points. It really does show. I mean, anybody can write a list of bullet points, but when they see that you said, I did this, created a responsive website for a client that created value, wow, that's far better than I know how to do this. So it's just a different way to look at it. So, but just to keep going, I'll use my profile to show you. I mean, here's the featured section. So, Isabel, if you created some really cool websites, then you might want to show some really cool websites in your featured section. And when you create...
How this feature works? You need to add links? Or what do
you use a link. Add, right there, plus, add a link. And then when you do that, check this out. Not only can I do that, but I can also tell a story. I can tell a story about what I did. And it's not just that you did it. It's the conversations, the strategy, the discovery, the planning, the research. When you tell a story about how you built it, and all the high level actions that you did that show that you know. I talked to a lady this morning and she says, Teddy, I build websites the old fashioned way. And I said, what does that mean? She says, I do wireframing. She says, I do site mapping. I do planning for each object that's going to be on there / page or post. She says, I map out what images I'm going to use where on the page. When you tell people that you think that way, it's far more powerful than saying, I know how to build a website. That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
So, some other things to think about that I'll have to use my profile to show. If you could use the providing services box. This is can be very useful when you build this out. It's just another way for people to find you, and if they find you, it's a way for them to contact you. Again, just another way for you to showcase who you are through that. It's called services page. Come back. Come on, back up. Providing services. Feature, activity, about, experience. You don't have to go back way too far. You went back to 2006, and you're.
Yeah, I have everything. All my experience, all I have.
Yeah, well, you don't have to go back that far, Isabel. Go back as far as it is relevant. And a suggestion: you're flipping back and forth between two languages. I would recommend you stay with one language.
Okay, yeah.
No disrespect to being bilingual, because I wish I were, but write your LinkedIn profile in one language and all of the areas in one language, so that you don't make us have to switch back and forth and thinking. I thought I saw some skills that were multiple. Here we go, 49. Yeah, I don't. So you're jumping. What is that word?
It's design in Spanish.
Yeah. So again, I think you might want to stay with one language.
Yeah, but I kind of still based. I'm open to have clients from Barcelona.
That's fine.
So,
That's fine. I'll give you a suggestion. So write this in one language. Write your entire LinkedIn profile in one language. And when you feel really, really freaking good about it, where it gives you goosebumps because you know that's me, then go, watch this. Add another language. And then you can rewrite it.
okay.
But because it hurts people to go back and forth between languages. I think, again, let me get, here's my upfront contract, Isabel. I'm Teddy. I'm full of ideas. Use them as you see fit. Because maybe I'm wrong for you. So, what else I can share? Language, education, skills, courses, 6 courses, all of these courses relevant to you growing in the industry you're in now?
Well, I have. This is only a sample of full courses that I've done out of my experience.
That's fine, but are these all relevant? I can't read all the words. I think they are.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, because that's the word, Isabel. Relevance. Do not put any courses on there that are irrelevant. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you're following 53 companies. This is you're in groups. I'm on the fence about the value of groups. You're following 4 newsletters. That's fine. And you're following 5 schools. But it's really about following companies. That's where the real magic is. So you can pay attention to what opportunities and or people you can meet at those 53 companies. So what questions do you have, Isabel, that I haven't answered for you?
So basically my profile on LinkedIn has been growing on different steps over time. Fortunately, the sector that I am, the industry, the IT works pretty fast. So I've been always reach a lot of opportunities or easily. So that's why it's not that well taken care. But now that I'm more open, or I would like to move my professional career to do a freelancing exclusively to that. That's when I would like to make this more business oriented and more easy for clients to get and read. I've been doing this more oriented to the IT recruiters. Now I would like to move to customers, to potential clients.
I get you. So, by the way, Western Piedmont is I'm doing six webinars for them. Today it's about building a profile. Next week's about building your network. The following week's about engaging on LinkedIn. So show up the next couple of weeks. You'll get even more ideas of how you can use LinkedIn to build the brand called Isabel and create more opportunities for you.
Okay, and can you share a link where I can see all those
the next webinars? Yeah, I will. Well, here you went to NCSBC, so you shared the link of where you found this one. So go back and find one for Western Piedmont. Search. Come on, where are you? What's next week's the 25th? Yes. So it should be right here. Ooh, is this? Did I do search? Yes, I want to make sure that's looking at the right place. When's my next webinar for her? Maybe it's 2 weeks out. 25th? Oh, it must be the 2nd. It's the 2nd. It's every other week.
Okay.
So it's going to be the 2nd. Developing a relevant and meaningful LinkedIn network.
Okay.
And then on the 16th is the next one, building a reputation on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So yeah, follow that. Let's see, the next one, the 30th. ABC, those are mine. Using Google Workspace is my next one. So anyway, yeah, you'll find them. It's all on there every other week. So, all right. Any other questions about LinkedIn, Isabel?
No, I will follow the next webinars, and
okay.
Yeah, I have took notes of your recommendations, so I will work on that.
Good stuff.
All
right. Let me go back to my talking points. I'm going to finish up this recording, Isabel. So to summarize this, for this video recording, write all your content outside of LinkedIn. Spell check it, grammar check it, make sure it's right, make sure it reads well, then copy and paste it. Start with your LinkedIn headline, 220 characters. Use emoticons very infrequently, but there's nothing wrong with emoticons except in your name or your company name. There's nothing wrong with the emoticons in various places throughout your content. Write the about and the experience section using spaces between short paragraphs. Don't write a big hunk of text. No one wants to read that. And when you're done editing, proofreading, then you can copy and paste it into LinkedIn. And look at your content. Don't let it become stale. I recommend that, as you're growing your LinkedIn profile, that you edit some of the content periodically. Maybe add some more keywords, adjust your keywords once you determine people are using different words than you're using. Update it, do something on your LinkedIn profile at least once a month to force the search engines to re-scroll your page so that more and more people can find you and find your LinkedIn content. So that's all I have to share today. I hope everybody who showed up and or visited this video got value from it. If you want more help on how to use LinkedIn for your business or your career, reach back out to Western Piedmont Community College and ask them when their next sessions are. I'm Teddy, your LinkedIn and Sales Navigator strategist, trainer, coach. Thank you very much for attending, and I hope this was helpful to all.